A weak message, a bad message is a message that does not translate into new clients. It does not pierce the noise of what they're competing against. It does not activate people to call you. If your message does not penetrate and capture their attention now, you're wasting a ton of money on marketing, you're wasting a ton of time, and you're wasting a ton of opportunity because your client will not hear you. They're not even looking for you with a weak message.
If your phone's not ringing off the hook, what does that mean? You're invisible. Nobody knows who you are. That's the biggest problem you have in your business, is that you're invisible.
You want attraction, not promotion.
You want to be in a position where you're attracting people to the power of who you are. And the power of who you are essentially is your message.
In order for a message to have relevance and impact, it has to be authentic.
Welcome to the Thought Leader Revolution with Nikki Ballou. Join the revolution. There's never been a better time in history to speak your truth, find your freedom, and make your fortune. Each week, we interview the world's top thought leaders and learn the secrets of how they built a 6 to 7 figure practice. This episode has been brought to you by eCircleAcademy.com, the proven system to add 6 to 7 figures a year to your thought leader practice.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the podcast, The Thought Leader Revolution. I'm your host, Nikki Ballou. Do another Thought Leader Nugget with my favorite guest of all time, Marc von Musser. Marc, welcome.
Hey, great to be here. We were chatting briefly, Nikki, right before about today's content and topic, and it is so important. And I think the listeners that are going to be listening, you're going to want to pay attention to this because there's a lot of consequences and a lot of pain coming your way if you miss what we're about to talk about.
Amen. Amen. So take good notes. All right. So we're going to talk about the consequences of having a weak message. Impotence is bad in the bedroom and it's bad in messaging, right?
Absolutely.
So, Marc, what happens if you have a bad message?
So there's a whole slew of a bad message. And one of the keys, Nikki, is most people don't realize they have a bad message. So let's kind of bypass and pretend that some people, oh, no, I'm a coach. I'm a life coach. Bad message, right? Oh, I'm a realtor. Bad message. So one of the things too is about a bad message is it's kind of like body odor. Most people don't even realize they have it, right? So let's jump ahead to how would you know if you have a bad message? A weak message, a bad message is a message that does not translate into new clients. It does not pierce the noise of what they're competing against. It does not activate people to call you. It does not get the person that's hearing it to do anything else other than, oh, that was nice. Oh, okay. Oh, they're a realtor. Oh, they're a consultant or whatever. So what happens, a bad message is a message that is like bad marketing. It does nothing. The intent of marketing, the intent of a message is to activate ideal clients, to navigate through and start the process to work with you. And when that's not done or done properly, people will spend a fortune on ads. They'll spend a fortune of time trying to find clients. They have to grind. They have to hustle and nothing seems to work. And then you think that, oh, maybe it's just not meant to be. And oh, God doesn't want me to be successful. And all these other dominoes start to fall, which aren't true. It's basically just bad messaging.
100%. You know, the thought of the faithful when they say, I guess God doesn't want me to succeed, is what I would call something that falls under the category of BS, beta stuff, right? You are failing for one reason only, and that's because you're putting too much of the focus of your messaging on yourself. A lot of people, they think their message means, let's talk about me. Let's talk about how great I am and how great my process is. We're the biggest. We're the best. We can help you do this. We can help you do that. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Why doesn't anybody care, Marc?
Because it's all about them. Right now, in a market like today, in a market with an economy like today, where this is always part of it too. People, the politicians that are at the top of the food chain right now, they think we're all blind and stupid. They're trying to gaslight us and tell us that, oh, gas is, inflation's 2.9%. Inflation's coming down. Gas came down 5 cents. We're smart enough to remember that 2.5, 3 years ago, it was $2 a gallon, and now it's $6 a gallon. So I don't care if it comes down 5 cents. That's a big jump. And so the sort of stuff too. And then the thing that's so frustrating is they're pointing fingers at everybody. Meanwhile, me, you, and the person hearing this is having to pay, 2-3 times the amount for groceries. And I just saw another meme that's going viral about a guy. This was really interesting, simple but interesting. He had his cart for Walmart, what he bought 2 years ago, $126. Now he decided, I'm going to see what it is today. $460 today. That's not 4%. That's not 9%. That's not 2% inflation. And so that's the thing. So what happens in that kind of an environment is people get caught up in their own oh crap moments. And so if your message does not penetrate and capture their attention now, you're wasting a ton of money on marketing, you're wasting a ton of time, and you're wasting a ton of opportunity because your client will not hear you. They're not even looking for you with a weak message. So yeah, that's an interesting one, Nikki. It's conversely, it remind me of great messaging where I do it. And for example, if I give you a great message, even though that is probably 30 to 40 years old, you'd still remember it?
Yep.
Like, where's the beef? Okay.
Immediately.
Okay. Got it. Right. Well, they were not doing very good. Wendy's hamburgers was not doing very good. And a great message really drove the attention to their strengths and the weaknesses of the other people. So their sales were not doing very good. And all of a sudden, what they did was they had a really cute old lady, and she opens up the burger and goes, "Where's the beef?" Because there's a little hamburger in there, and there's the big bun, which was kind of a knock on their competitors. It steered them. Their sales went through the roof. Now I could go, there's every year, there's another person that gets their message dialed in. And the thing about it, guys, is it's not the economy. That just means you need to sharpen your blade even more. That means that message has got to have 3 main things if you're going to win. Because right now, what happens is most of the people I see, Nikki, most of the people are still using the message they were using before COVID. Number one realtor in Toronto, number one realtor in the north whatever, number one this whatever, or
nobody cares.
Top 3% or whatever, or helping people with generic stuff like life coach. So what happens with that type of a process? As human beings, we have filters. We're filtering out everything that is not urgent, everything that is not acute pain. Okay. And so what happens is the people doing that, what used to work, I remember people say they'd run an ad and they would get 10 calls booked. Now they run ads for 3 days and maybe get 1 call booked. So instead of 30 calls booked, they maybe are getting 1 call booked, and they need 3 of those calls to complete 1. So that's equivalent of 90 calls they needed. The reason is that their message is missing 3 key ingredients that are going to paralyze the messaging and cost people a fortune.
So, Marc, an impotent message is a message that's all about you and what you do, and not about the client and the problems they're facing. It's generic and sterile and puerile, so there's no edge to it. And as a result, it can't cut through the noise. Right? It's a limp message, right? And limpness in messaging is bad, just like limpness is bad in the bedroom. Not good for you, right? You need strength. You need to stand tall and strong. That's what gets your message going. So if you want to have your message be good, first and foremost, stop thinking about you and start thinking about them. Take the attention off you, put the attention up on them. And what you've got to do is you've got to give some thought to, well, what is it that they're dealing with? What is the biggest problem that they have? And it can't be some cliche BS. right? Like I help people with their business or I help people with their sales. It can't be like that. It needs to be way better than that. One of the things that you and I talk about when it comes to sales is we say, look, there's a lot of good people in business with the highest ethics and morals, but poor sales and marketing skills. And one of the reasons their sales and marketing skills are poor is because they're afraid of selling. They've been fed a BS fake news lie that something's wrong with selling. Selling's bad. It means you're pushy. It means you're bad, etc. And as a result of this, they don't try to sell. They're ineffective at it. But if you don't sell, you don't have a business. So what we say is we make sure that you can sell in a way that is heart-driven and in a way that makes you feel good about yourself, but also in a way that gets you sales and revenue, because that's important. Without that, you don't have a business. Now, we can cut down what I just said into a much shorter phrase, a much shorter sentence. But the bottom line is we help good people who are afraid of selling embrace selling and get good at it. That's the bottom line. That's a good message. It's not an impotent message. It's a powerful message. What do a whole lot of other people say? We help non-sales sellers sell. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Nothing, right?
Yeah, most of the people are saying, most of the people are trying to use that tried and true. We help coaches, consultants make six figures, 6 and 7 figures. That seems to be the overused message that now falls on deaf ears because everybody burned it into the ground. So that's one of those things that I would say that most people are overusing some things. The other part too with messaging is it has to be relevant. And so there's 3 main points, Nikki, that if messaging of any sort is going to have impact, it needs to have 3 things. Number 1, it needs to be relevant. Okay. Number 2, it has to be time sensitive, meaning it can't be off center and, like what worked before COVID. And then 3, it has to be relevant. I think I covered relevant. So it's relevant, impactful, and time sensitive. And if you don't have that, not good. So that would be the part that I would say that most people, but you can always tell you have a weak message if your phone's not ringing off the hook. If your phone's not ringing off the hook, that's a big problem. So,
Yeah, if your phone's not ringing off the hook, what does that mean? You're invisible. Nobody knows who you are. That's the biggest problem you have in your business is that you're invisible. Invisible. People need to see that you are someone relevant who can help them. If they see that, then you're golden. You're going to do really, really well. You're going to do really, really well. If they don't see that, then they're going to think, wow, you suck. You're nobody I should pay attention to. Get going. And you don't want, suck's a technical term, by the way, right? You don't want people to think that. People are going to think that if your message is weak and impotent, if you're irrelevant, if you're not cutting through the noise, no one's going to pay attention to you. So make double sure you're focusing on them, what you're saying is relevant to what they're dealing with right now, and that you know how to cut through the noise.
Yeah. And part of that, Nikki, again, you've done a lot of great work on messaging and, writing a powerful hook that resonates with the person. That really kind of gets to that point. And when it's done right, and when you take the time to do it, all of a sudden, what you have on the other side of that, you're going to start finding that people, all of a sudden, your ads start working, your emails start causing a response, and people start calling. You find that all of a sudden you're getting clients again. And there's a great message, and I know in marketing, which is what happens if you have inept marketing or impotent marketing? Nothing. Right. And that's the exact opposite thing of what you want. And so I would say the power of a message in today's world, this is the first time in history, going back 5,000 years, where the right message can permeate the world and go around the world instantly. So that's why if you think about the scope of what's possible with a powerful message, it can be very, very good if you take the time to build the right message for the right people at the right time.
So if your income isn't where you want it to be, if you're not getting sales, if you're getting on phone calls with people and you're not converting, you're not able to persuade them to work with you and they're ideal clients, a big reason could be that your message sucks and that your message is impotent. It's weak,
your message,
and you need to change it.
Nikki, you're absolutely right, because the message sets the table, right? So if you're going out to fine dining and you go out to fine dining and you come up to the table and there's trash on it, it looks dirty, the linens are bad, it's got leftover stuff, you're not feeling pretty good about that meal. So when the meal comes out, you're now wondering whether the kitchen's as dirty as the tables are, and the silverware and the wine glass is dirty. And so what happens, messaging is very similar to that. It goes a long way at the conversion aspect. If you have a great message, you articulate it in a way that activates people, pierces through the noise of all the other marketing that they're seeing. Yeah. It gets them on the phone hungry. It gets them on the phone expectant, excited about what this might be. You're 50% of the way to the enrollment in a new client. But the opposite happens too. Most of the time, people have limp messaging. So the limp message, they aren't even calling. So now you're having to outbound. Now you're having to hustle. Now you're having to beg. Begging is not the positioning you want to be in as a business owner. No, you want attraction, not promotion.
Begging is bad in romance. Begging is bad in business. You want to be in a position where you're attracting people to the power of who you are. And the power of who you are essentially is your message. Marc, if people have a really good sense that their messaging is impotent, weak, what do you suggest they do? What should they do? Should they jump on a phone call with us?
Absolutely. And there's some systems out there which they drive me crazy. I keep hearing these generic people, oh, we'll help you with your messaging. But their messaging is so formulaic, it's missing authenticity. And in order for a message to have relevance and impact, it has to be authentic. And that's something, Nikki, that you're incredibly good at, and something that we've done with a lot of people, help people get an authentic message that truly reflects your purpose, truly reflects your passion and your genius in a way that will benefit them, as opposed to some performance-based messaging that most of the people seem to do it. They seem to think that you can just throw it in some kind of logical algorithm, and here's a good message. It's also, let me throw out one other thing. It's also one of the reasons, guys, why the ChatGPT and the AI is going to create a homogenistic white bread, mayonnaise, blah message, because it's pulling from thousands of messages. It's saying, this is what everyone's saying. I don't want to say what everyone's saying. I want an authentic message that reflects me and what my greatness and what I can bring that nobody else can. So that's a big, big difference, Nikki. So jump on the phone, get on the phone with Nikki or myself, get on the phone, find out what it looks like. And Nikki, there's things that you do as well at times to dial in message. I told you one small segment of what you do was worth the whole price of the entire deal.
The whole price of the event. And that's true. I think you made a powerful point with ChatGPT. You can definitely use ChatGPT prompts to help get yourself going, but you need to insert a bit of you into that message, a bit of who you are, a bit of your special sauce. ChatGPT and the other AI platforms are not able to do that. So make sure that you understand that use AI as a tool, not a replacement for your innate greatness and your innate genius. I think that's powerful. We'll make sure we put our calendar links in the show notes. Marc, thanks so much for being here. It's always great to speak to you, man. You always bring out the best in me and the best for the people that listen to this. God bless you, bro.
Let's rock.
Thank you. Take care.
This episode has been brought to you by eCircleAcademy.com, the proven system to add 6 to 7 figures a year to your thought leader practice.